To Neil Lawrence, Professor of Machine Learning at Cambridge University. Neil, talking shop or useful summit, which is it?
I think it's incredibly significant to have the United States and China signing the same document, and I don't think the significance of that can be underestimated. It may not be that there's an enormous amount to say in that document, but in order to get both those great nations to sign such a document, that's always going to have to be the case. So we'll look back on this moment, but we'll be look backing on it from whatever it leads to, and I think it will be seen as a significant turn where we get these two great countries talking again.
I can't do artificial intelligence, but any intelligence observer would suggest that we can't even regulate the internet. I mean, you can't regulate AI, can you?
I think you point really well made, Jamie. I think one of the things that is unfortunate about the summit is it's not addressing the real issues that we're facing in our different societies with our different approaches to regulating them. Artificial intelligence is just an extension of internet. It's just an extension of this rapid form of communications, which is massively disruptive to the way we run our societies. And there are benefits accruing to certain people, and it's the reactions that our societies take institutionally to that take a long time, and it's incredibly difficult to regulate that. But that's not just AI, that's the whole of cyber because of the speed of deployment of these new capabilities.
As you say, some big players there. China's there, the United States is there, the UK is there, the EU is there, but I mean there are lots of people who are not there. Can this gathering and the later ones make any progress if there isn't a complete buy-in from everyone around the world?
I think it's an incredibly good point. I think that there's a real danger for the developed world to be navel-gazing here. So the issues that we might feel in professionalized societies where we have large numbers of lawyers and accountants whose roles they feel are threatened by these technologies are extremely different to the issues that developing economies are facing. And I think many of them are looking on at this quite bemused in terms of the nature of the conversation we're having, when these technologies present enormous opportunities, but enormous dangers for their societies. The potential for misinformation to disrupt delicate societies is absolutely tremendous, and many people have already died because of that. And I think that it would be worthwhile having more of that conversation as well as the conversation on these frontier risks.
Where and how is AI already being used safely, if I can put it like that?
Well, it's quite pervasively used, in terms of recommendations on the internet. It's filtering a lot of what we see. Now, whether it's being used safely, I think, in that context is another question, because although those are quite inconsequential decisions, what adverts we see, what social media posts we see they have a downstream effect on creating divisions in society where certain political groups will only look at their own posts, whereas in the past they may have been presented more information from a wider spectrum of media. I think one really interesting domain where AI is progressing slowly but has enormous potential for benefit is in medicine, where, of course, we already have an enormous amount of regulation about what a medical device consists of and what that should do before it can be safely deployed. So there are lots of domains where we've got lots of good regulation, and that's already being used in collaboration with people who are deploying these technologies. But naturally, those things move a bit slower because to conform to the regulation requires a lot of work.
Neil, I'm sure we'll talk again in coming weeks and months. For the moment, thank you very much. Neil Lawrence, Professor of Machine Learning at Cambridge University.